G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Caitlin and I'm an American living in beautiful Sydney, Australia. I can't believe this is going to be my fourth Christmas in Australia. And since moving to Australia, there are some Christmas traditions that we have started. And I think going into 4 years, you can officially call these traditions now. If you want to see some of the Christmas traditions that I've picked up since moving to Australia, grab a bicky, grab a cuppa, and let's get right into this video. Number one is buying almost all of my Christmas presents in October. So yeah, not only am I one of those people who plans in advance, I now have to plan in advance if I want to make sure my friends and family back in the States actually get their gifts in a reasonable time. So from like mid-September to mid-October is when I do the bulk, if not all, of my Christmas shopping, because I need to make sure that everything is delivered by the end of October, that I have enough time to wrap everything, that I can find boxes that are big enough, and so that way I can ship everything out in a reasonable amount of time. Because if you wait pretty much past mid-November, you are like keeping your fingers and toes crossed that any package will actually get to the States in time. If I make sure that it's out by the end of October or early November, I at least have a chance, a pretty decent chance, of it getting to people before Christmas. This year I'm sending out 3, possibly 4, debating on one of them. Yeah, I'm sending 4 different boxes out to people this year. So I've got my parents and my brother. I've got a good friend of mine, I've got another good friend of mine, and my goddaughter, and then I've got a college friend of mine who I'm kind of up in the air because I'm still not sure what to send her. Mostly because he can't send alcohol in the mail. So yeah, since moving to Australia, I've started Christmas shopping incredibly early. In fact, my Christmas shopping is like September to October. And I used to be an early shopper before, but early meant like shopping in November. So yeah, I think about Christmas months and months in advance, and that's become a new tradition for me. It's just getting all of my shopping done early. Number 2 is not really decorating the outside of my house. There are so many people I know who don't decorate outside for Christmas. Once in a while, you'll find those streets or the cul-de-sacs that have just tons and tons of Christmas lights, which to be honest are actually really cool to see. I still love riding around, driving around, and seeing Christmas lights here. But over in the States, there are so many houses that decorate for Christmas. It is so common. If you don't put like at least a string of lights on the outside, people kind of see you as the oddball, whereas here, it's very, very rare for people to decorate the outside of their houses. Or if they do, you get like the bare minimum, like maybe a string of Christmas lights around here. It's not very common to see people decorating the outside of their house for Christmas. Now granted, it could just be the suburb that I live in, it could be the places that I've actually seen around here, but from what I've heard from Aussies, that tends to be the norm, that people just don't go crazy decorating over here. So yeah, I stopped worrying about decorating the outside of our house for Christmas. I just make sure that the inside is nice, it's festive, and it feels like the holidays. So number 3 is getting a ham for Christmas. So my family used to shake up whatever we did for Christmas dinners. Like by the time I left the States, our main thing was prime rib because we'd only have like 5 or 6 people over for Christmas typically. A prime rib was a perfect size for us, and because it's cold, you want to put the oven on. So that was perfect for us. Whereas over here, getting a pre-cooked Christmas ham is like the norm. I know people still do a lot of different things. People will do turkeys, people will do chickens or Cornish hens or duck. Like obviously families have their own traditions, but Christmas ham seems to be the norm over here. And Mark is absolutely obsessed with it. Like he absolutely loves Christmas ham. We'll buy is it a quarter leg, a half leg? Anyway, we buy a decent sized Christmas ham and we get quite a few meals out of it. We do different things with it. We'll cut it up and put it in a stir fry and take some ham stir fry to the beach on Christmas. There are just different things that we do with it. It's great for breakfast, it's great for sandwiches, just Christmas ham is absolutely lovely. And it's something that we've started as a tradition over here, so every year we get ham. Next up are Christmas lunches. So obviously over here in Australia, it gets incredibly hot. People don't really want to put the oven on for a big roast at the end of the day, so Christmas lunches and Boxing Day lunches are incredibly popular over here. Whereas in the States, lunch used to be like a snack before like a slightly early dinner, like a 4 or 5 o'clock dinner, because you'd have all these desserts and stuff later on, and yeah. So for us, we used to have a very early dinner over in the States, whereas here in Australia, our main meal is Christmas lunch, which, as I just said, always involves some type of Christmas ham, which we typically eat when we go to the beach. That's another tradition that we've started is, at the very least, that is the one day of the year that Mark and I will go to a beach somewhere. We've done it every year. In fact, last year was the very first time that we had an incident where there was a shark in the nearby area and actually pulled everybody out of the water, so that was interesting. First time I've ever had that happen to me. Had no idea that's why we were being pulled in until like 15 minutes afterwards. I'm like, oh, okay, apparently there was a tiger shark in the area. So yeah, having Christmas lunch on the beach has become a bit of a tradition for us. So this one is Christmas crackers. It's honestly something that I never did over in the States. They're slowly picking up in the States, but overall Christmas crackers just really aren't that popular there, and here they are everywhere. I mean, everywhere. So typically I'll just pick up a random box that I find in like a Kohl's or a Kmart, and that ends up being what we use for Christmas crackers. And because there's only 2 of us, we've also rolled the ones that we don't use over into next year. So yeah, it's a cute little tradition that we've started. Not something I ever thought I would do over in the States. Not something I ever really understood over in the States, to be honest. But yeah, opening Christmas crackers has become a little bit of a tradition for us. There are certain sweets that you get over here in Australia right around Christmas time, and 3 of those that come to mind every year now are pavlova, Christmas puddings, and Christmas crack. Which I don't know why people seem to think that Christmas crack is an American thing. Maybe it is, and I never heard of it before I moved over here. But for some reason, just saltines and caramel and chocolate, that combination is absolutely incredible. Plenty of Aussies seem to know about it. Me as an American, never heard of it before, but people seem to say it's an American thing, so maybe it is and I just live under a giant rock over in the States. But I made pavlova in the States before. I had no idea it was an Aussie thing. I genuinely thought it was a Kiwi thing because that's what I'd heard online, and I know that's a big controversy that I do not want to touch with a 39.5-foot pole. But yeah, I used to make pavlova over in the States. I've tried making it here, and for some reason my oven just hates me. Like, every single thing I make just doesn't work in this oven, and I cannot understand why. So I've started cheating and buying the store-made pavlova shells. Not nearly as good as the homemade ones I used to make, but a heck of a lot better than the ones that do not seem to come out right here. And Christmas puddings are completely new to me. We did not have Christmas puddings like this over in the States, and to be honest, some of them are good. I'm not a huge fan of like the old school traditional ones with the sultanas and the nuts and stuff in them, but there are some that are not too bad. And if you cover it up with enough cream and brandy cream and custard, you can kind of get over the taste of some of them. Yet now that I've actually started spending Christmases here, those are 3 Christmas treats that I actually look forward to every year. Now this one I know isn't the norm necessarily, but a lot of offices shut down the entire week between Christmas and New Year's. And that is not something I had to deal with over in the States. Over in the States, you got Christmas off, you got New Year's Day off, and if you were lucky, you got a half day off on Christmas Eve. And that was it. If you wanted time off, you had to use the very limited amount of annual leave that you had. Whereas over here, my office shuts down for the entire week. Which to me blows my mind that so many places just shut down for an entire week at the end of the year like that. It's great, it's amazing, don't get me wrong, I'm definitely not complaining about it, trust me. It's just, even after being over here for 4 years, it's still a shock to see that. And I'm so incredibly appreciative of it. I actually get to spend a week off relaxing and enjoying my time and taking a breath and enjoying the very end of the year. It gives you a chance to stop and pause and reflect, and I'm so grateful that I actually get that opportunity. And the last one on this list are Boxing Day lunches. So the last 3 Christmases, Mark and I have gone over to a relative's house and we've had Boxing Day lunch there. Whether we do that again this year or not, we don't know yet. It's still kind of early at the time I'm filming this. But every year for Boxing Day, we do a Boxing Day lunch. And even if we don't go to the relative's house this year, we'll probably end up doing some kind of Boxing Day lunch, even just the 2 of us, or maybe go over to a friend's for a barbecue or something. But over in the States, I never celebrated the day after Christmas. It was just a day to unwind, or if you had to, a day to go to work. But here we've made it a tradition to do something for Boxing Day lunch, and I am so glad that we do. You guys, I was so close to getting the outro to that and my camera battery just died. But no matter what, we will definitely be doing something for Boxing Day lunch this year. So that's it for this video, you guys. Christmas traditions that we have started. Now that I'm celebrating my 4th Christmas here in Australia, let me know what your Christmas traditions are down below in the comments. I love hearing them. I love hearing about what different traditions are like over here. It is so cool to see what some people do. So that's it for this video, you guys. If you liked it, please hit the like and subscribe button down below. I so appreciate the support, and I will see you all in my next video.